Boy, oh boy. What a day, huh? It is 4:42 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, November 12th. And I gotta know. I got a question. How the hell are you doing? Cop Watcher, good to see you. Great to see you again, Cop Watcher. Great to see you again. Because I was talking to you this morning. Or this afternoon, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's been a big day. It's good to see you again. Oh, hi, Umbreon. Look who just jumped on my lap. This is the same little guy we were walking around with earlier. Oh, wow. You sleepy still? What a guy. What a guy. What a dog. Doing splendid. How are you? Says Copwatch. I think I'm also doing perhaps splendid. I'm doing well. Definitely doing well. Maybe even splendid. I feel pretty good. I am well fed. I'm ready to dive in to some big news. You guys heard about this? I feel like it's all I see in my feed right now is videos about these emails. These emails. They're emails. Cop Watcher says, feels like I just saw you a couple of hours ago. It does kind of feel that way for some reason, doesn't it? I can't quite put my finger on why, but it does certainly feel that way. I mean, where do we even begin with this, right? Where do we even begin? I guess we don't have to begin anywhere. We can just kind of sit and talk for a minute. We can take our time. There's no rush, really. So I want to know how you're all doing. I mean, obviously, I know how Cop Watcher's doing splendid. Let's do one of these infamous like button polls. Let's do did you click and release the like button? Yes. Yes. There we go. Just a little emotionally abusive poll for you guys. Cop Watcher says, well fed, huh? Was that before the IRL stream? No, I was less well fed before that. But I got some Mickey D's after that. Yes, we did have an IRL stream. We did walk that doggo. Cop Watcher giving the game away. It was a good stream. I am enjoying those IRL walks with you all. I think we will do many more of those and more, more like other kinds of IRL content in the future. I think it's something that I will become increasingly comfortable with. Good to see you, Short Stack Goblin. How are you doing today? Well, I hope. Let me add a goal as well. Support the stream. Support the dream. Support the ween. The classic. I suppose we might as well get into it, huh? Let me set up my display here. Oh, perfect timing. Ruby, I still don't know how to say her name. Her like string is Spacek, I assume is right. Ruby raid, guys. We got a Ruby raid. Welcome, Ruby viewers. We're just getting in. We haven't even started yet. We literally moments ago started our stream. So welcome. Say hi in the chat when you arrive. Short Stack says, I caught Hutch midstream, so I need a TLDR for the whole email thing. Well, that's good, because we're gonna start from the top. Hey, Nikoti. I am on finally. I am indeed. Well, I was on earlier too, I did a little stream. Uh-oh. Shay Phantom says, how did I get here? Well, it's more about the journey than the destination, and this is still part of your journey. So what does it matter how you got here? Just click the like button and enjoy the show. We just started. We're going to talk about these explosive Epstein emails. We haven't even touched on it yet, so should be an interesting conversation. Gamer of the Damned, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing damned well. Shay Phantom, I gotta ask, any relation to Danny Phantom? Any relation? Are you also going ghost? Let's see. Oh, buddy. See, that's why you can't roll over him, and he almost fell. Luckily, I caught him. Hey, Christine. For those who don't realize what just happened, Umbreon was sitting on my lap, but he just rolled over. Let's pull up. Let's find a good article about the Epstein emails. We don't have to read the article necessarily, but we can read the emails. Shay Phantom says, no, I didn't think of that when I made the screen name, but everyone says that. I don't believe you. Hey, Christine. Hey, Sarah, the Raging Tomato. Good to see you. I saw you're doing a fun I Survived the Crucible stream tonight. That should be interesting. I'll try to hop on there. Let's pull up AP News. That's a good one, right? Give me just a moment here. Okay. Here we go. So we got an AP article that says Epstein email says Trump, quote unquote, knew about the girls. Very interesting. As White House calls its release a Democratic smear. The White House calls it a Democratic smear. Is it? Well, I guess. I mean, it could be. But let's dig in. Ryan, the radical coder. Yeah. Sarah, the Raging Tomato. Ryan, the radical coder. I like that we all have these superhero names, It's Sleepy Tomato, no panel. Ah, good to know. Good to know. Then I will not be hopping on. All right. Let's see. Where are the emails? Okay. So there's 3 different emails that have been released. Also, good point, Nightbot, about liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. If you're new here, if you just joined from the Ruby raid, might be a good time to subscribe to the channel. Okay. If you don't know who I am or what I do, well, I mean, you can stick around and find out. But I'm a political guy and a coder, and we argue about politics. Sometimes we read the news. Sometimes we talk about the news. Sometimes we argue about the news. Sometimes we actually do some coding. We build some tools. I do a segment from time to time that I like to call Vibe Coding the News, which is a lot of fun. At least I think it's fun, where we use AI to build web apps out of news stories. We might even end up doing something. I don't know. This doesn't feel like the right time for a Vibe Coding the News segment, but we've done it in weirder times. So we are indeed superheroes. Christine is her own raid. Ain't that the truth? Short Stack says, Sarah, you need to just join Ryan in voice chat and chill. You moderate too much. Let Ryan take the lead. Could be an option. Cody says, hello, Ruby Raiders, whoever you are. True that. We're happy to have you here. The more the merrier, truly. Especially right now when we're covering such groundbreaking, explosive details, right? Hi, Susan M8148. Welcome from Ruby's. Definitely happy to have you here. Please enjoy your time. So again, there are 3 different emails. I don't know if there are others that have been released, but I believe these are like the 3 that are relevant. These are the 3 that are related to Trump, who is the president, by the way. Oh, yeah. Ruby did redirect you guys over here. Yeah. Is that the same Ruby who beat up Grace? That is the same Ruby who beat up Grace. Yeah, I haven't commented on that. I have not talked about Ruby beating up Grace. I haven't even actually followed Ruby's coverage of what she said about that. But we don't need to dive in to that right now. Yeah, Christine, there was an altercation, okay, when Grace showed up at a restaurant, I believe, that Ruby was walking into with her, I think it was her mom. Short Stack says, I watch Ryan because he makes me feel competent at coding. Take that as you will. Ouch, I think, maybe. I don't know if that's, well, I guess it depends on if you interest. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, Short Stack Goblin. She put some wallop on. That's kind of what it looked like. You don't really see. I guess we are going to talk about this a little bit. You don't really see like the violence, if there is any. Yeah, there was quite the altercation. Yeah. It seemed like she grabbed her hair or something. I don't know. You know what? I do not endorse violence. I do not. That said, hey, Hurricane Pero. Ryan is a very positive teacher. Jeez, you guys. Thank you. I will say, I've said many times when it comes to, especially when it comes to IRL content, which, you know, I myself am starting to dabble in. Eva does endorse violence, apparently. Yeah, the hair pulling. I've said this numerous times about like IRL content and people like kind of fucking around. Like, regardless of justification, which again, I don't think it's a good thing to do. If you're running around, Baxter Boy, thank you so much for the $5. Baxter Boy always just pops in, throws $5, and then disappears. As quickly as he came, he was gone. Thank you so much, Baxter Boy. Look at that beautiful gold super chat on the screen. You guys could also have a beautiful gold super chat on the screen. Hey, Rude Crab. Yeah, Susan says, to be fair, Grace was stalking Ruby and kind of asked for it. I don't know that I would use the phrase ask for it, but this is kind of what I'm getting at. It is when you go out in public and you follow people around and you antagonize people, you know, it doesn't mean that it's good that they react with violence from time to time, but this is the real world, guys. Like, people don't just let you like follow them around and do random shit. Like, people will fight you. Like, people get hit, and I mean, people get killed also. Like, crazier shit happens than and you know, I encourage people to be more cautious. Like, you don't need to put yourself in these sorts of situations. But Susan, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream and welcome to the membership tier. I really appreciate that. Thank you for joining Power Supply Unit. You are truly the power supply unit, part of the power supply unit of this channel. Also, hi, Denizen. Evo with the boxing glove. No, but seriously, like, when you fuck with people in the real world, shit escalates. All I'm saying, because I'm not personally, I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just saying that, like, you got to be careful what the fuck you're doing out there. Like, people will hit you, people will fight you, people will do worse things, and I don't want to see people in those situations. So I would encourage people to be more cautious and understand that they're putting themselves in potentially dangerous situations. That just because they think it's funny to run around and harass people, like it's not, you know. Mean says violence is life. Thank you, Mean. Yeah, thank you again, Susan. Hurricane Perro says W. True. We love our members here. We also have you now have access to all these fantastic emotes, like the Care React. We have a baby Umbreon. This is my dog, my little wiener dog. He's a very sweet boy. I'm sure he'll make an appearance in the near future. Oh, we got Angry Jiggles when you're feeling mad. Thank you, Hurricane. Susan says, do they make fart spray? I believe they do. I believe you can purchase fart spray online, or probably at like a prank store, magic store. I don't know, maybe like a Spencer's gift shop, maybe. I think you can get some fart spray if you look around. Okay. Speaking of fucking around and finding out, tell that to Gutterman, says Nicody. I don't know who Gutterman is. I don't know that name. So we got an email here from GMAX, which stands for Gigantamax, for my Sword and Shield fans. Mean says, had to leak code that so much to bypass YouTube filtering. Apparently YouTube disavows. So you did a great job. Now, obviously, unfortunately, this is not a Pokemon related email. And Gigantamax didn't even exist in 2011. First Amendment frauditor, Ryan. Yeah, unfortunately, Gigantamax did not exist in 2011, or at least not publicly. Maybe Nintendo or the Pokemon Company had some ideas in mind. But this is, in fact, Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted sexual predator, sending an email to one Jeffrey Epstein. You guys heard of this guy? Heard of this guy, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein? Well, I guess this email is from her. She's responding to an original message here from one Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey says, I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And then there's the redacted name of a victim, which Caroline Leavitt and the Republicans have alleged is somebody specific, which we can get into. But for now, let's leave it redacted. Victim spent hours at my house with him. Him being Trump, right? Victim spent hours at my house with Trump. And then he, again, Trump has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Not sure what that last part means, but. So the dog that hasn't barked is Trump, Donald Trump, President of the United States, who spent hours at Epstein's house with an unnamed victim who we potentially have a name for. And Trump has never once been mentioned. Yeah, Trump's buddy. Yeah. Trump famously said of Epstein that he's a terrific guy who loves beautiful women almost as much as Trump does. Some of them on the younger side. He said he's a lot of fun to be with. Loves his social life. Short Stack says Gutterman is the guy shot by Boogie, right? Maybe. I guess that would make sense then. Yeah. Yeah. Again, like seriously, like guys, don't run out and harass like people in public. YouTubers are not like. This is not good. Nightbot makes a really compelling point about liking the stream, subscribing to the channel, and getting yourself a membership like Susan demonstrated earlier. Really fantastic to do. Makes me extremely happy. And you can also gift memberships, which can potentially make me even happier. Or if you want to make me sad, for some reason, then I will at least feign sadness if you gift or get a membership. Eva says, MAGA, thoughts? Thoughts? MAGA? Thoughts? Any thoughts? Would love to hear what MAGA has to say about this. Susan says, this does not surprise me, though. Yeah, it is not the most surprising, but it certainly is new information. Eva says, I wonder how they'll justify this. Well, I have a couple theories about what they're going to be saying, but we'll get into that shortly. I mean, if that's the guy that got shot by Boogie, did he shoot him? I know Boogie walked out of his house with a gun. Did he actually shoot the guy? I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Shot at. Okay. Short stack explains. I don't think he was hit. He showed up at Boogie's house. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That I do remember. That was a couple years ago now, right? Nicody says, the dog that's never barked, is that Donald Trump's code name? Well, he is specifically referring to Trump here. I mean, he that's what he says, right? I want you to realize that dog, so I guess they're referring to a dog that never barked, or a dog that hasn't barked in previous emails, presumably. And he's clarifying that dog that hasn't barked is Trump, Donald J. Trump. I mean, unless he's talking about someone else. I don't know what other Trump he could be referring to. But I mean, I guess. But no one seems to be arguing that they're talking about a different Trump. I think it's pretty clear he's talking about Donald, right? Nicody says, FYI, harassing people is what most frauditors do. That's true. That is true. Denizen says, what happened? Well, the House Democrats released 3 emails. One that we're looking at right now, which is between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And 2 more that are between Epstein and Michael Wolff, who, I mean, we'll get into those momentarily. But, again, I mean, Epstein says that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. A redacted victim, spent hours at Epstein's house with Trump, and Trump has never once been mentioned. Mean says, Eva, getting involved with that age bracket is actually good because they're already fertile and we had a huge population decline issue. Jesus Christ, Mean. Jesus Christ, Mean. A well-trained e-collared dog. Hey, Fuzzy. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. I be Stremin. I'm right here. Look at me. Stremin. They said I wouldn't. I don't know who they is, but they were wrong. So that is the first email, right? Trump is a dog that hasn't barked. Victim spent hours at Epstein's house with Trump. Okay, we've exhausted it. Interesting stuff. So I guess we can, before we dive into the other 2, redacted victim Epstein emails. I believe, I don't want to do the chat. I want to do, hang on, sorry guys. This is what I get for using an AI browser. Yeah, I know it's Eva, not Eva. I got you. Don't worry. Rude Crab says, your president is a hebephile. Shocking outcome. Yeah, who would have thought? What a twist of fate. Eva says, hello, everyone. I'm too lazy to type names. So I am reporting to you all that she says hello to you. I mean, maybe it's in this article. Let's see. I believe her name is Virginia. Is it who? Okay. Republicans on the committee later said it was Virginia Giuffre? I don't know how to say the name. Now, Republicans, as we know, are not always the most honest people. But if it is Virginia, who's the redacted name here, it is interesting because she, as Caroline Levitt said in her Guffrey. Okay, thank you, Guffrey. That sounds right. If it is Virginia, she, I believe. Okay, well here it is. Yeah, Guffrey said Trump quote unquote, couldn't have been friendlier. So Guthrie, who did die earlier this year, I don't know, I believe she took her own life. But she had long insisted that Trump was not among the men who had victimized her. So in a court deposition, she did say under oath that she didn't believe Trump had any knowledge of Epstein's misconduct with underage girls. And in her recently released memoir, she described meeting Trump only once when she worked as a spa attendant at his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. Now, this contradicts, assuming this is Virginia, this contradicts what we're reading here in this email, right? Because if this is Virginia, then Epstein, and of course Epstein could be lying, right? I don't know why he would be lying about this to Ghislaine. Like that's I mean, whatever. I mean, God knows, right? But he's saying that Virginia, assuming that's the victim they're talking about here again, which I'm trying to like imagine that full name being like fitting there. I guess theoretically it could fit. I don't know. It might just say she, and he's like they referred to her earlier. I don't know. In any case, this obviously contradicts her statements that she only met Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So one of those things is not true, right? Just something to keep. I mean, it is an interesting thing. Like, one of those things can't be true. Either this email, Epstein's lying, or Virginia was lying. It's hard. It's hard to say. Because it would seem very weird for Jeffrey to be lying right here. And I mean, I guess, there's a million things that could be going on in any case. So I don't know. Yeah, in a private email. Yeah, it's so strange. Yeah, she unalived herself. Sure, she did, says Nicody. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we don't know for sure, do we? Nicody says, Lomer got a talking today about this file stuff in her vote from what I briefly gathered. Yeah, yes, there was an emergency meeting. Maybe we'll watch. I think there's a Pondering Politics video that I have not watched yet. He's posted numerous times today. Obviously, a big day for the Pondering Politics channel. I think Lomer is fitting. Susan says, I don't believe she did unalive herself. Yeah, I mean, it is hard to say. Short Sex says, emails from 2011. When did Jeff start having legal troubles? Before 2011. So I believe that the Acosta deal he got, Acosta deal, Epstein. Short Sex says, code a timeline. Yes, this is actually a really good idea. Nicody says, maybe she was not aware she was there because of being drugged. That I guess could also be possible. Yeah, it's possible that she wasn't even was either not conscious or drugged up when Trump was there with her, which obviously would be far more damning. But it would mean that she was being honest in her recollection. I don't know the details of her story if she talks about being drugged there a lot. I think coding a timeline is a very good idea, actually. I think we'll probably do that momentarily. Also, Nightbot, again, giving us the fantastic reminder about liking, subscribing to the channel, getting yourself a membership, gifting yourself a membership, right? It is the gift of supporting the channel, of giving yourself access to these fantastic emotes, and perhaps any streams that I may decide to put under a members only banner in the near future. If you want to have access to those things, then a membership might be a good idea. Let's see. So Alexander Acosta negotiated a plea deal in 2008 with Jeffrey Epstein. So I believe Jeffrey's legal troubles that we're referring to started in 2007, which is around the same time that Trump reportedly banned him from Mar-a-Lago. Although, if you listen to MAGA talk about it, it sounds like that he did it years before. But it was, in fact, in 2007. Again, we could do a timeline of all this stuff. I think I have... let me see. Give me just a moment here. Oh shit. Yo. By the way, fun fact, just fantastic timing. Breaking news. ChatGPT 5.1 just dropped, apparently. So that's fancy. I guess we can put it to the test here. This is news. I'm gonna switch over to oh, it looks like it's already there. Okay, here we go. We're on 5.1 thinking. So, yeah, new ChatGPT just dropped. Breaking news, breaking news. Christine says, I just watched a commercial. You are welcome. Thank you for that. Thank you for your service. Short Stack says, but that on Finance Right or Already Girls? I believe it was already... Well, I mean, I guess we'll dig into it here. So, dig deeper into all of these new details and much more about the timeline regarding Trump and Epstein, Epstein's relationship, specifically focusing on Epstein and his legal troubles, etc. So let's see. We're gonna let it cook. I don't know. I've heard 5.1 is a bit of a slower model, that it's taking more time to do problem solving stuff. So, Polygraph Lie Detector says, "Boo, boo." Sounds like you're at a Lions game, and President Trump is reading a military oath. I think maybe Nick Cody and Polygraph are both rolling their eyes at me being excited about ChatGPT 5.1. Maybe. Michelle's back. Susan says, another breaking news. We're getting $2,000 stimulus checks. Are we though? Are we though? I know Trump has been talking about that. Let's see. Stimulus checks. Is there news regarding that? I mean, I just genuinely don't believe this is happening. Nicody says Nightbot hates ChatGPT. Michelle says that's communism. Even slower. It's developed. Well, I think the idea is that it's slower to respond, because it's like, as you can see, it's going into like deep. It's going more in depth on each thing. So it's spending more time, like making small choices. Was just getting my pitchfork. Well, now you can put it down for the moment. Michelle says, if you do get a $2,000 check, you're going to pay them back. Trust me. Polygraph says, I will repeat the fun fact. I'm ready. Christine says, not everyone got free money. And Cody says, a stimulus would have to be passed by a House. They have the power of the purse. Well, Trump doesn't care about that, right? Since when has Trump cared about the power of the purse? Polygraph says $2,000 stimulus checks would cost $600 billion, which is 2 times the amount we supposedly brought in from tariffs that we paid ourselves. Fuzzy reminds everyone there is a Discord. Yes, we do have a Discord. It's called the Room for Radicals, and we have, in fact, room for a few more radicals. Get your spot while you can. Susan says, I saw a YouTube video of Trump saying it, so not sure if it's legit confirmed. Yeah, I wouldn't, I would not take his word for it. But I mean, again, like I guess it could happen. You know, they definitely want to quell the population. Because, I mean, the American people were, by and large, blaming Republicans appropriately for the shutdown. They weren't buying their lines about how the Democrats wanted to give health care to illegal immigrants. People weren't believing the shit. And obviously, this breaking news about the Epstein files, the blue wave we had just the other day, or just a week ago. I think Republicans are looking for some goodwill. And perhaps paying off the American citizenry is one way to do that. Christine is triggered from Hornet. What did Hornet do now? Short Stack says, also, Ryan, can you look up how the Trump family got rich at the time of Frederick Trump? No reason why. How did the Trump family get rich, in particular, Frederick Trump? Polygraph says, Republicans are threatening to make lists of people on YouTube saying mean things and reporting them to Trump. Hi, Kash Patel. Hi. You wrote a children's book, and it's creepy and weird that you did that about the attempted coup on the United States Capitol, that you wrote a book where you made it so it was like a plot against Donald Trump, and you wrote yourself in as a wizard. That was fucking weird. You're a creepy loser freak. And unfortunately, I do think the song that goes with your book kind of slaps. So I will give you that at least. You fucking loser. And Cody says, we will probably get one free can of PBR once it's all said and done. It better at least be a tall boy. It best be a tall boy. And Cody says, supposedly there are 5 families that have gotten richer with every war. Okay, so let's see. Frederick Trump emigrated to the United States at 16 after stints as a barber and small time. How long is this? He operated lucrative tent hotels and restaurants, food, lodging, gambling, and sex work. So not much has changed, I suppose. Oh, you think that's why all the @ signs are showing now? So they can identify us all. Good morning, Bong and stuff. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from. Okay, in short, the Trump family's wealth began with Frederick's Klondike-era hospitality businesses and early New York properties, was scaled by Fred's mid-century subsidized housing developments, and was amplified, sometimes turbulently, by Donald's branding and Manhattan expansion. Just the title is good, Ryan. Oh, okay. Made money running Klondike boomtown hotels and brothels. And kids, a brothel is where you make soup. Definitely something to keep in mind. I appreciate the heads up, Short Stack. Okay, looks like we do have a fancy timeline here. So what I'm going to do next is say, now build a single file HTML5 web app illustrating this timeline. Use Vue and Tailwind CDNs. Vue is a JavaScript library. For those who don't know, Tailwind is a CSS library. So Vue makes the website functional. Tailwind gives it styles. CDN just means that I can reach out to servers that have those files hosted on them, so I don't have to include a bunch of my own local stuff. Yeah, let's just do it. Plus, this is, I don't want the soup. Yeah, you might not want the soup from the brothel. That's fair. Very sussy soup. Extra salty. That's crazy, but accurate. Oh man. So we're gonna let that cook. And let's go back and look at the next email. Why not? Right? Because we've only really made it through the first email. There's 3 emails that are of note. So the first one was about Trump being the dog that hasn't barked. How allegedly Virginia, but one of Epstein's victims spent hours at Epstein's house with Trump. But let's look at the second email. This one, fast forward, guys. Fast forward to... wait, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know why these are out of order. Let's fast forward to 2015. We're gonna fast forward to 2015. So put yourself, guys, now in 2015. Trump is making waves in the Republican primaries, bullying Ted Cruz and others, and Democrats are certainly not taking him very seriously. I think many people are not taking him very seriously, but he is making a name for himself. Out here. I actually just rewatched Deadpool Wolverine, by the way. Just a fun fact. Nicody says Fred Trump was a racist tenement owner. Yeah, I've heard. What's that song? Song about Fred Trump. Woody Guthrie. I don't like the way my landlord's treating me. He's talking about Fred Trump. Nicody also does not want the soup. Rude Crab says eggplant soup is apparently Fluzzy's favorite. Bong and Stuff says there must be an MCP integration you could use with GitHub to possibly publish each of these to a repo or otherwise through CI/CD. Might be an interesting infrastructure project. Yeah, definitely. I mean, since I am making these all, like every time I do this, I just make a single HTML file. So in fact, I could probably walk back through and just throw all of these in a GitHub repo like really easily. In fact, hey, future Ryan, when you are reflecting on this stream using ChatGPT or whatever, as you've been known to do, I would ask that you take a moment when you hear me saying this to run back through, grab some of those HTML files, and at least create a GitHub repo with the task of adding these in. And we'll share the link with the chat after we do that. The Vulture says Trump is a kitty diddler. No one is ever going to do anything about it because Jews? I don't know. Okay. Thank you, The Vulture. Nicody says it's not hard to bully Cruz, to be fair. Yes, that is true. That is true. Pre-watching is illegal. Woody Guthrie. Yeah. Short Stack says, is dog that doesn't bark supposed to imply he didn't do anything to the girl? I mean, I guess that's one way to read it. My read is that he hasn't said anything. He's not going to tell anything. He's not going to repeat anything. That like my the way I read it is like, our secrets are safe with him for now. That's kind of how I interpret it. But I mean, I guess it is possible. It is possible that's what they meant as well, Short Stack. So I mean, I think it's fair to take it's fair to remain agnostic about the conclusions of all this, right? Or it doesn't spill the beans after. Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those. It's hard to say which one. If you zoom in on that sticker, is there a sticker? The Woody Guthrie thing. Yeah. This guitar kills fascists. Sorry, let me pull it back up. Fred Trump, Woody Guthrie. I mean, it's almost impossible to read. But I believe he has this Guitar Kills Fascists sticker. Yeah, this machine. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Rinyald. I was in your chat earlier. Did you see me? I was cheering you on. Polygraph says, seeing that image made me want to get back into music again. I encourage you to do it. We love some music here. A series of signals like that. Punk is inherently anti-fascist, and I've always been into that music as well. Yeah. Hey, Avoided Hornet. Polygraph says, yeah, dog that doesn't bark seems like it means someone who hasn't hasn't spoken yet, but I don't know the etymology. Exactly. Yeah, this machine. Yeah. Polygraph says, it's just a cool image. There are images like that which we can save, share to remind people of our history. True. I like that. Yeah, pay attention next time, Reynald, okay? Nightbot, well, thanks to Fuzzy, Nightbot is reminding you all of a way that you can actually customize the way. So you notice Fuzzy B has this beautiful light blue name, beautiful yellow text, and also a bright purple background. You can use these commands to customize your chats on my on-screen overlay. Again, Nicody is another example. You guys can all do this, and you can use the Colors app by clicking on that link, which will allow you to select, find the hex code for the colors you want to pick. But I'll leave these instructions up as we dive into this next email. So again, fast forward to 2015. We've already set the stage a little bit, and we have an email from Michael Wolff. Now, Michael Wolff is the author of Fire and Fury. Yeah, Fire and Fury, which is a book about Trump's White House. So it's called Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House. Now, a lot of people are skeptical of specific claims that Michael Wolff made in this book. So Michael Wolff, fair to take with a grain of salt. But these emails that we're looking at right now, these are not claims made by Michael Wolff these are emails from this is an email from Michael Wolff. So we don't have to, we can be skeptical of whatever the implications of what he says here, whatever. But all we're seeing is communications between Jeffrey and Michael Wolff. So, okay. So we have the initial email is from Michael Wolff to Jeffrey of House Epstein. Excuse me. And he says, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. So that's very interesting. For some reason, I mean, maybe it might just be that rumors were going around. But for some reason or another, Michael Wolff does appear to have insider information about what questions CNN is planning to ask Trump tonight. So that's very interesting. But he says, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. And then Jeffrey replies, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Now, people are reading this one a number of different ways. Like the idea that they're pontificating about what they should tell Trump to say. I don't necessarily read it that way. It feels like I don't know, because I guess you can imagine him just being maybe they're just really friendly and they have these conversations. I don't know. It is possible that Jeffrey is asking this for a particular reason, right? Because he's considering maybe we could craft an answer for him. But anyway, he says if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? No, Fuzzy, this was not while Epstein was incarcerated. I just got another commercial. Can you start over? So Michael Wolff says, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in Scrum. Jeffrey Epstein replies, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? And then Michael Wolff says, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on a plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. So the implication there is that he has been on the plane. Obviously, we know he's been on the plane 7 times because of the flight logs, at least 7 times because of the flight logs. I don't know. I don't know that we knew he'd been to the House, but again, in those earlier correspondence, the 2011 ones between Epstein and Ghislaine, Epstein alleges that Trump has been at the House, potentially with Virginia, or at least one of Epstein's victims. Again, he says he spent hours with her, in fact. So presumably they could say, okay, well, if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, that gives you valuable PR and political currency because they can, they can kind of blackmail him. They can release it if they need to. He says you can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. So again, they're talking about blackmailing the potential president, right? Assuming he lies and hangs himself, as they put it. I don't believe these questions ever actually got asked at the debate in question. So that's something worth keeping in mind as well. And then Michael Wolff goes on to say, of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say, Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime, which is very funny, a very funny sentiment at the end. Political correctness is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Very funny bit there. And weirdly prophetic. But yeah, so they're talking about how, instead of giving Trump advice, whether or not they were considering giving him advice, they're imagining at least giving him advice. And they're saying that, well, instead of doing that, we can just let him say whatever he's going to say. Either way, it seems that we can benefit from him answering this question, regardless of how he answers it. Short Stack says, I went through the Trump family history a while ago. Frederick Trump made them rich with brothels. Fred Trump increased the fortune with real estate, namely scamming the U.S. Army during World War II. Okay. He managed to bankrupt 3 different casinos. That's our Donnie. That's our president. And Cody says, where's Melania been lately? She never does first lady stuff like her predecessors. That's an interesting question. Oh, why didn't you guys tell me the goal ended? Let's just start a new one. Come on, support the stream, support the dream, support the ween. I don't ask for much. The super chat could be any color to meet our goal. The quote is from Sherlock Holmes. Which quote? I'm sorry. Before decide, okay, this is the quote that Polygraph was just referring to. Before deciding that question, I had grasped the significance of the silence of the dog, for one true inference invariably suggests others. Someone had been in and had fetched out a horse. Had he not barked enough to arouse the 2 lads in the loft? Obviously, the midnight visitor was someone whom the dog knew well. Okay. Fair enough. And then Cody says, isn't there not much on that island or significance except his house? I don't know much about that. Eva says, why are these barely being released right now? Well, so another thing that happened today was the swearing in of the newest member of the House of Representatives, who should have been sworn in weeks ago. House of Representatives swears in, what's her name? Adelita Grijalva. So she was just sworn in. She was voted in over 50 days ago. And one of the things that Mike Johnson was using the shutdown as an excuse to do is, refuse to swear her in. But obviously they could have sworn her in at many points throughout that. So presumably the reason I bring that up is because apparently she is the the breaking vote to be able to. I think they need her vote to vote to set up a vote, if that makes sense. Like I think that she can vote now to have a floor vote where they decide whether or not they should release the rest of the files. I believe that's what's happening. Documentary on Netflix called Dirty Money. I didn't know that was about Trump, but thank you, Susan. Polygraph says Republicans supposedly released another 20,000 messages or something after Dems released these. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to muddy the waters. Support the wine, you mean? He's been really good today. So now this Polygraph says, so now the implication would be that the reason Trump didn't talk is because Epstein was a very good friend and that he knew well. Ah, I see what you're saying. The dog didn't bark. Okay, I understand. Like when he's asked about Maxwell, he pretends to not know who it is or remember them. Yeah, but I wish her well. He said, I wish her well. Short Stack says it's only his house on the island, but I think they're talking about Epstein's New York house, potentially. Nakoti says she was finally sworn in and they're running scared, which is why they tanked Lomer into a meeting. Yeah, exactly. Friendless Lifestyle says the 2023 Nickelodeon logo uses Epstein Island. Sick fucks. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I guess shame on you, Nickelodeon. I don't know anything about that. And Cody says, because I guess Loomer was going to vote for the release. Yeah, yes. Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene are both allegedly leaning towards voting to release the files. Fox is doing polls based on who will fold, and they had Mace, Green, Massey, and Boebert as options. Google it? Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Nickelodeon 2023 logo. Is it supposed to be Epstein Island? Is this the shape of Epstein Island? Epstein Island seen from above. I mean, I guess it's also blob shaped. I see what you're saying, but I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, my guy. I mean, it's not quite the same blob. I mean, like, I guess it's possible. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'll leave that one to the conspiracy bros. Also my chat seems to have broken, so let me fix that real quick. My overlay chat, that is. I will fix that right now. Okay, your chat should be good now, so go ahead and spam the chat. Yeah, Michelle says funny coincidence. It is quite a coincidence. And obviously Nickelodeon has their a very dark history of things that are, I guess, kind of overlap. Here's the fun part. Got to go back in time to see if it changed appearance. Wait, which thing? The Nickelodeon logo? Yeah, it depends on the angle of the photo. Yeah, but I'm looking at these top ones, and it seems like there's, like, the left side. Yeah, I don't know. I can kind of see what you're saying, but it's just not. I don't think it's close enough for me to jump on that one. Oh, to see if the island changed appearance. I mean, it wouldn't have, like, changed shape, right? How far back in time will we go? Anyway, this is a distraction. This is a distraction. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. This is not relevant.
And the representative-elect.
No, thank you. It was a distraction. And Cody says, well, if Nickelodeon puts a non-barking dog next to it, then I might believe this little conspiracy. Yeah, maybe. All right. So again, we've read email 1 and email 2 now. So let's move forward to email number 3. Now we fast forward again to January of 2019. Yeah, get Nickelodeon on to disavow, or get Nick Cannon on. Maybe we can get him to disavow. So we have again, this is January 2019, so we are well into the Donald Trump, the first term of the Donald Trump presidency. January 2019. This is from Jeffrey to Michael Wolff. And he says, victim, and there's some various things redacted here. Victim, Mar-a-Lago, some more redacted stuff. And then Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. So this is Epstein saying that he was never a member of the Mar-a-Lago, I guess like never had a membership to Mar-a-Lago. So he couldn't resign from being one. I assume that's what he's saying. And then this is the maybe the most damning line. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. So he's talking about Trump. He says, of course Trump knew about the girls. Of course Trump knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. What do we think about that one? Short says, Ryan, there's a dog in the logo. There's a small rock next to Epstein's island called Dog Island. No, there was no dog in the logo. Not from what we were looking at, Nickelodeon 2023 logo, but there is a dot. There is a small, there is a dot here. Epstein Island, seen from above. Is the okay? I see the dog island. Assuming one of these is the dog island thing, it's on like the opposite side of where it would be. On, oh, there's this little dot. Like this one has a little dot. Like, could that be the dot that's right here? Maybe. This is maybe the best angle for what they're pointing to. Oh no, Dog Island. I see it over here. Dog Island is like on the bottom right. So that can't be the island. But there is a little dot, little tiny like rock or something here. I mean, again, I'm not saying there's nothing to it. I think it's kind of, it's not where it doesn't really get us anywhere to speculate on. So I think there's way more interesting stuff. Like, again, this line that, of course, Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Now, I will say, when he says that, he could be referring to when he banished Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, right? That could be what he's referring to when he says he asked Ghislaine to stop, right? Polygraph says Trump admitted he knew about them earlier in a vid as well. Did he? Eva says he asked her to stop. Yeah, that's a very interesting line, right? So I don't know if they're talking about when he banned them from Mar-a-Lago or banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. Fuzzy says at least he asked her to stop, but if he knew and did nothing, it would still make him pretty deplorable. Yeah, for sure. Susan says I think they were all greedy and sick. That does seem likely. Well, I guess the thing is, Fuzzy, like what he could be referring to when he says, I don't see Arachnid's comment. But like when they say he asked her to stop, they might just be referring to him saying stop taking girls from Mar-a-Lago, because Trump describes, I believe, like Epstein stealing girls from him. Like I think that's what he talks about, like stealing a girl from Mar-a-Lago who worked there. Melanie says, I have a birthmark. This is the same shape as Epstein's island. This changes everything. Watch out, Mel. You are now under investigation. And Cody says, there's an island called Dog Island. There is indeed an island called Dog Island. But the dot is in the wrong position. Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, like this dot is not. It's pretty close. I mean, it's not the exact position, but it's pretty close. It's interesting, but not nearly as interesting as these emails are. Friendless Lifestyle says, Google the 2023 Nickelodeon logo uses Epstein Island, then go to images on the Google bar. Your messing is up big time. I'm messing it up big time. Okay. Nickelodeon logo, Epstein Island. Okay. Again, like the logo would have to be shifted this way, and the dot would have to be moved to the like one of these prongs. I mean, like it's guys, it's a blob. Like I don't know about. I'm the more I look at this, the less convinced I am, to be honest. I see a goat. That's me, actually. I'm the goat. Melanie says, I see your mom. What's your mom doing there? Maybe that's what's meant by the non-barking dog. It's a reference to that. Oh, I see what you're saying about the dog island. Maybe. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a distraction. Again, the way more interesting thing is, of course, he knew about the girls. He asked Elaine to stop. Polygraph says, why? Of course, he was asked about it in a plane. Eva says, some conspiracies are there to muddy the waters and distract us. Yeah, definitely. I think the Nickelodeon thing is one of those. Polygraph says, it was a dementia moment. He named her, and it's going to be really hard to find. Melanie says, when do we stop giving them the benefit of the doubt? Who? I mean, I like Trump. I mean, I'm pretty convinced already that Trump did some nasty things. That he knew what Epstein was up to. Stop communicating. He named someone that has something to do with jacuzzi, the video I'm referring to. Fuzzy says, oh, you're right, because Trump got mad because he did it again after he asked him to stop getting them from his place. Yeah, exactly. Fuzzy said his problem with Epstein started after Epstein tried to get a daughter of a friend of his that was at Trump's place. Yes. Michelle says it does not match. Eva says, get back to the email. Yeah, we're back. Shortsack says, your image search is confusing the two islands he owned. It's Little St. James you want. It's not actually called Epstein Island, obviously. But, I mean, we already looked at one comparing them both, so. Yeah, I mean, this is Little St. James Island. I'm looking at the right island. But again, this is not the relevant piece. Friendless says, wow. Wow, indeed. I remember that now. Yeah, I bet that's he asked her to stop. Yeah, exactly. The video's maybe 2 to 5 months old. Something about jacuzzi, you said. Maybe we can find it. Oh, you found it? All right, let's see. YouTube.com. Here, I'll click on some other video. Like, I don't know. This one.
Other dramatic twist.
And then I'll change the URL to what Polygraph just said, which is PKAYCSSF2 or 2.
President Donald Trump is sharing more details on his fallout with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He spoke to reporters on his way back to the White House from Scotland, explaining Epstein's poaching of staff from Mar-a-Lago. Listen.
Oh, here we go.
People were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
One of those stolen.
People were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
prison. Does that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole
Excuse you, sir. Calm down.
her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us from the White House with more.
Umbreon. No, stop screaming. She had no complaints about us, as you know. But now, if that's the girl that's being mentioned in that first email, Umbreon, stop. If that's the girl being mentioned in the first email, Epstein says that Trump spent hours at his house with her. Melanie says, Ryan, you keep reading things and being like, well, maybe they mean something less bad. Like, yeah, well, I'm just like, okay, listen. It's not about giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's about preparing for what kinds of ways people are going to spin this stuff. Like, what's wrong with trying to understand like how people are going to read it in different ways? Susan says, does anyone remember the painting of Clinton in an address? Oh yeah, I remember them talking about that. Anyway, we got him. We got the line already, so. Stop. The Clintons are just as guilty, if not more so, than Trump. Probably. Polygraph says, this is the girl who unalived herself, the one the White House confirmed today. Yeah, exactly. Virginia. Yeah. Melanie says, in my opinion, it's smart to take everything as bad as possible until proven otherwise, aside from being cluelessly conspiracy-brained, of course. I don't necessarily disagree. With how we represent this stuff, but I mean, like when I'm walking through this, I'm just like walking through my understanding of the facts, right? Very sus. He stole. Michelle says, I don't know about as guilty. Trump is a multiple times felon. That's true. Also named her with Epstein. Well, Epstein says Trump spent that allegedly Virginia spent hours at Epstein's house with Trump. So I don't know if Epstein was there too, but Karen Lyon Epstein confirmed it today via Karen Lyon Epstein. That's so funny. Caroline Levitt confirmed it today via, well, she said that the Republicans confirmed it. But we don't know for sure. So I watched her statement as well. We like, it is still possible that it could come out that like it's not about her, right? But I mean, I'm willing to accept that it is, and it just makes more questions, honestly. Yeah, the Clintons are definitely deeply embedded with Epstein, or they definitely were as well. Yeah, it's called steel manning. Exactly, Michelle. Polygraph says the unnamed victim referenced in these emails is the late Virginia Giuffre, who repeatedly said President Trump was not involved in any wrongdoing whatsoever and couldn't have been friendly to her in their limited interactions. Melanie says, being defensive about vacuous stuff and not just saying what is right in front of your eyes is easier to spin than if you just state what you see. I'm not being defensive. You are being defensive. You're being like offensive in a defensive way. Like you feel like you're overreacting to my like my as Michelle put it, steel manning. Michelle says, I don't doubt it, but Trump has been found guilty of multiple crimes and Clinton didn't. He's better at hiding it. Yeah, at least. Fuzzy says, yes, and you don't want to sound like you're just saying because you hate Trump, but because he's guilty with proof if there is proof. Yeah, also that. You're speculating about what it could mean. I mean, I guess it's both, right? Like I'm pretty confident that's that what they're saying is that Trump like actually does know about the girls. But I mean, like it I don't know. Like I'm sorry, maybe I'm too intellectually honest or whatever for what you want me to do. But I don't know. I can imagine a world that's not like out of the realm of possibility where they're referring to the specific interaction where Trump started banning or where Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. But like it would mean that happened because he knew it's not really better, right? It just means that he knew that they were taking girls from there, and he already like, and that would be like, presumably Trump would have already had his had been at the house with Virginia, as is outlined in the first email. Short says, to be fair, Trump has no idea who that is when asked. He just thinks she's asking me about this name. I can't say I don't know, yes or no. I'll say yes. Well, he sound like when he talked about Virginia, he specifically said that she has nothing bad to say about him, right? So I think he knows that name in particular is the one that he can safely say, like, had no interactions with him. And Cody says, your wiener is the obs, the barking dog. Yeah, he sure is. The Epstein stuff is definitely a bigger deal. No problem, friendless lifestyle. Thank you for sending me down that interesting rabbit hole. Polygraph says, oh, if Dems have a different victim behind that line, then it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. You can thank me by getting a membership. That is one of the best ways to thank me. Super chats are also a great way to thank me. My goal does end in 7 minutes. I would love at least one super chat to help me break that. We don't even have I'm not even asking for a specific color, right? But I want you all to be aware that your super chats go directly into this guy's belly. Isn't that right, Embryo? You look extra cute today. You got a little grin on your face almost. You guys see that? Like, almost got a little smile there. Or not a smile, but like I don't know. What a cute little guy. Yeah, liking the stream also helps. If you don't have the funds, you can support with your thumbs. Polygraph says, it's hard to be dumb about anything at this point because otherwise it gets used against you. Mel says, no, you're hedging your bets with superstition and doing effective damage control for terrible people, full stop. Okay, well, I mean, look, if you don't like the way I process information, like, I mean, then you're going to have a bad time here. I don't know what to tell you, Mel. Like, Polygraph says, that's how I was forced in this whole understanding Epstein as opposed to just being upset about the SA violence. Oh, being dumb about anything, getting used against you. I see. It's a little odd that it refers to the non-barking dog and there is a dog island. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Polygraph says, Massey, I think, said it well too when he called out Trump for saying he was helping during V1. Why isn't he helping during V2? That's an interesting point. Michelle says, like, it goes without saying he's guilty. We're trying to see if there's any way someone could try and twist it to defend him. Yeah, and again, like, I feel like my reading, like me reading it that way about Trump knowing about the girls, like, again, it's not any better for him. Like, yeah, like Fuzzy says, either way he knew. It's either saying he knew about all the young girls or he knew about the young girls they took specifically from him. Yeah. Like, it's still like incriminating or vaguely incriminating. Like, I don't know if it would hold up in court or whatever, but it's a bad fucking look. It's pretty fucking creepy. Polygraph says, Trump's so old, he won't be worried about himself. It's probably all his friends he's protecting, is my read at this point. Maybe? I think Trump's primarily self-interested. Michelle says, instead of looking gobsmacked when someone defends Trump, you can have an idea of what they might say. Yeah. Oi, oi. Hey, a couple of Burks. Melanie says, I wonder if the right wing ever exploits plausible deniability. Who cares? What's more important is virtue signaling how fair and balanced you are. I'm literally just thinking. You guys are watching me input information and process it in real time. Again, if you don't like how I process the information, then you're going to have a hard time on my stream. But I think you do actually like how I process information, which is why you're always here, Mel. And I appreciate it. I like you. But Jesus. 4 minutes left to provide Umbreon a super treat, as a couple of Burks kindly put it. For a radical, you're really good at falling for traps, baited the catch centrist. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. Being reasonable is virtue, apparently. There is lag, so I would have quit had I noticed you getting irritated sooner. No, it's okay. I like getting irritated by you guys. It's part of the game. Non-barking dog sounds like a euphemism for bitch. A little bit. Short Sack says, Ryan, every time you say the Clintons too, you're covering for Trump, when in reality you have no evidence whatsoever for them. Stop catering to the both sides the same losers. I don't think both sides are the same. I mean, I do think Bill Clinton is a bad guy. So I mean, like, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to equate like Clinton and Trump, because they're obvious. Like, Trump is obviously leagues worse. But I do think I don't like Bill Clinton. Michelle, thank you so much. Bongus, thank you, Michelle, for supporting the stream, supporting the dream, and supporting the ween. I'll restart the timer. Thank you. Polygraph says, to Mel, we need to all work on helping people get out of that. Mini libs fall for these also. And Cody says, this is just a weird time to be alive, isn't it? I mean, my parents and grandparents would have never imagined this is the country now. Yeah, I don't know if anyone really could have. Michelle said, Trump ironically said, yo, Jeffrey Epstein stole my underage masseuse. Yeah, for real. Fuzzy said, or people that know but they don't say anything because they're familiar. Could be a non-barking dog. Polygraph says, I think Trump is self-interested also, but more he's using his control over people, and most of them are bowing, so he feels secure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we love a couple of Burks. Polygraph says, that's why I'm afraid of streaming. Because you get angry. I don't blame you. And then we got Michelle's super chat again. Thank you, and thank you. Nantel says, I don't know, the show Victorious and iCarly was way too pervy to not fit in the Nickelodeon Island conspiracy, so just watch the Quentin review stream if you want to know what I mean. Yeah, man. Again, like, Nickelodeon obviously had some really fucked up shit going on. I don't disagree with any of that. So, like, I mean, it is a weird coincidence. Yeah, but Clinton is definitely not the leader of the left, but Trump is the leader of the right in the United States. That's a good point as well. Polygraph says, I think saying it's fine if Clinton is in it and gets processed as any other person who does bad stuff. Yeah, exactly. More like go after anyone who did bad stuff. Yeah, as we should. Rude says, I don't know why you keep lying to Mel, Ryan. What am I lying about? Polygraph says, because it's much larger than any single person. Cody says, I don't think Bill was all bad, but he sure did let us down with those actions. Michelle says, we can shit on Clinton without shitting on current day Dems. True. Rude Crab says, you don't like her. She doesn't even like herself. I do like Mel. I don't know how Mel feels about herself, but I like Mel. Fuzzy says, anyone that abused kids needs to be brought to justice, no matter who they are. True. Yeah, I do like Melanie. Christine hates herself and everyone, but we appreciate her hanging out here anyway. Polygraph says, it's just trying to be clear about abuse. We have to not tolerate it. We need to say it like we need to call out people who are doing un-American actions. Yeah. Short Stack says, Clinton is not there except for flight logs within the U.S. Yeah, Clinton is in the flight logs, but Eva says, I love myself. I love myself. A couple of Burke says, thanks, guys. Just going to speed run some of the streams so I'm caught up. Appreciate it. He also said, release it, probably since he is okay with what's in there, which is a great signal that they should release it. Interesting. Isn't Zinger a snack? Oh, like Zaxby's? The little chicken zingers? Is that what they call them? Melanie says, Hillary might be the queen of neoliberalism. That's probably a fair. Michelle says, Zinger is a spicy insult. Yeah, KFC had a sandwich. Okay, it was KFC, not Zaxby's. I think Zaxby's might also have them. Polygraph says, Republicans are just mad Monica didn't get pregnant. Changed my mind. Maybe. Spicy indeed. Fuzzy L words, you Christine. Oh, wow. I mean, that could be, there's a lot of L words that could be loathe. Could be, I lent you. I lumberjack you. It could be anything. Nicody says, not to change the topic, but big up to Obama for greeting the soldiers on the honor flight the other day. Oh, I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, sure. Eva says, my black hands still don't show on screen. Yeah, I have nothing. But neither do white hands. Okay, to be fair. Only Simpsons hands show up on my screen. I'm an equal opportunity racist. You could have said I like you. Zinger was like a Twinkie. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a little Debbie, right? Cider's software is racist. Yes, but equal opportunity racist. That's true. Fuzzy says, I didn't spell all the way out so you didn't have an allergic reaction. You know what the word is. I don't know. There are a lot of L words. A lot of L words in the English language. She lemons her. That another one. Another word that it could be, right? Okay. So I believe there is a Pondering Politics video I wanted to watch, and then I don't know if we're gonna go too much longer after that, but let's see the emergency meeting.
Following this morning's Epstein bombshell about leaks of private emails between Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, in which they implicate Donald Trump directly in knowledge of Epstein's crimes, if not actual participation in them, Donald Trump orchestrated an emergency White House meeting to try to handle this crisis, which...
Oh, you know what, guys? Before we do, we never actually saw the timeline that we made, right? We have a timeline of events in an HTML file. So let's open up Gemini. Did Gemini 3 drop yet? Oh. Did Gemini 3 drop? Can't tell. Put this on a canvas. Okay, it still says 2.5 Pro. So, yeah, no Gemini 3.0 yet. I think Gemini 3.0 is supposed to drop soon as well. Baxter Boy popping up with another $5. Thank you again, Baxter Boy. A man of few words, but many dollars. Thank you. What a champ. You guys can all learn from Baxter Boy. Although I appreciate your chats as well. But the money thing is huge. We're very thankful for Baxter Boy. Who the fuck is Gemini? Google Gemini? It's Google's AI model. Yeah. The penny is dead. Wait, is this breaking news? Penny dead? The U.S. penny is officially dead. The U.S. Mint produced the final penny on Wednesday. Yo, breaking news. The penny is canceled. The penny has been retired. It's over. No more pennies. The U.S. Mint produced the final penny on Wednesday. It was the last penny. The final penny, ending the coin's 232-year-old life. Yeah, proof of conservative cancel culture. Here we go. The video of the last...
Everybody, this is the last one.
Any final words for the penny?
God bless America.
Yeah, bless America. And we're going to save the taxpayers $56 million, which is good. We're going to do a countdown on this one. This is the last one.
This is the second canon assassination of Abe Lincoln in the United States. Can you believe it? Now we get to pay round up to 5 cents. Yay us. You know they won't round down. Ooh, that's a good point. That'll make pennies worth a lot on eBay, probably. Did the penny say something bad about the administration? Maybe. Wow. Okay. All right. So goodbye, penny. Uh-oh. Looks like our timeline is not working as expected yet. So we'll give that a minute. But in the meantime, okay.
which also included Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who was a key vote on forcing the release of the Epstein files, which just took a massive step closer to reality with the swearing in of the 218th signature in the discharge petition that would make it a reality. So Trump is panicking, and there have been other moves by Republicans in the White House today to try to dull the sting. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, as ABC News reports, top administration officials met with Boebert about House vote on release of Epstein files. Officials wanted Boebert to drop her support for their release, sources said. So let's take a look. Top administration officials met with Representative Lauren Boebert Wednesday morning about the effort to force a House vote on the release of the Justice Department's Epstein files, multiple sources told ABC News. The meeting with top White House and Justice Department officials was part of an effort to get Boebert to remove her name from the petition to release the files, the sources said. It came just hours before Speaker Mike Johnson was to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who has said she intends to add the final signature to that petition to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. Attorney General Pam Bondi, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, and FBI Director Kash Patel were among those present for the meeting, which occurred at the White House, the sources said. I want to stop right there. So what that tells us is because this is a politically inconvenient problem for Donald Trump, that he is arranging for the participation of the three highest ranking and most important members of the Trump Justice Department. The Justice Department's supposed to be an apolitical branch, a non-political branch. They have nothing to do. They're not supposed to be Trump's personal fixers. And yet here they are doing exactly that, meeting with a member of an entirely different branch of government to try to resolve a political problem for the sitting president. Corruption and a breach of norms, the likes of which we've simply not seen in decades.
Okay, let's see. Let me catch up. Coins are so gross. Get ready for lots of SNL sketches about it. True. I don't really watch SNL, but you can make flooring. There's a man that used pennies and made acrylic furniture with them. There's a bar in Orlando that has like a I think it might just be called the Penny Bar, but they like their whole bar is made up of or at least the whole top layer of the bar is like pennies. I'm more in the penny. Rip penny. They didn't eliminate currency since it was worth less and less in Biden's admin. The people who can't see the North Star when they walk outside are the ones that are upside down. Change my mind. I will not change your mind from those facts. Orlando needs to go too? Damn. Not Orlando. Why you gotta come out my college town like that? It was too late. It was too late. This is a serious moment.
It wasn't immediately clear following the meeting whether Boebert had decided to remove her name, the sources said. Boebert is among 4 Republicans who have signed on to the petition. The others are Representatives Thomas Massie, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. The White House and Boebert's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. And while we're talking here, because we're going to look at the initial CNN reporting on this, which presaged this meeting, they were the ones who got the initial exclusive reporting on this, and then ABC confirmed that it had already happened. I am curious. I want to see if there's been any update on Boebert.
Mm-hmm.
If there's panic sets in, yeah. So as of this moment, it doesn't look like she's gone public with any sort of intent to remove her name from the Epstein files discharge petition. But please understand that by the time you see this video, that may very well have changed. It's just not the case, at least at the time of this recording.
Well, let's see. Lauren Boebert X. Let's see. This was 422. This is the last thing she said. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, this isn't. Wait, is this I will be voting to repeal this ridiculous policy that allows 8 specific senators to use taxpayer dollars to sue the DOJ. This garbage should have never been included in a clean government funding bill. Listen, look at that. More like Lauren Boebert. Lauren Boebert? What? Yeah, are you keeping your signature on to release the Epstein files? Also a good question. But okay. Cuz this is supposed to benefit the it's the people who were investigated under January 6th, right? Wait, wouldn't she be one of those? Am I misunderstanding this? Is this a good thing? It's unacceptable for taxpayer money to be used for personal or political legal battles. Thank you for standing up to accountability. Yeah, also the hemp ban. Imagine not knowing where you're going until GPS is inventing. I still don't know where I'm going. Lauren Boebert W? It seems to be. It seems to be the case. Although we don't know if she's still voting to release the Epstein files, but very curious.
So let's look into the earlier reporting, which again talked about how that meeting would occur. Exclusive, Trump administration plans meeting over House effort to release all of the Epstein files votes. Top administration officials were planning to meet Wednesday about an effort in the U.S. House to force a vote on releasing Justice Department case files related to Epstein. One of the sources said the planned meeting would include Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, FBI Director Kash Patel, Lauren Boebert, who wanted the Justice Department to release the trove of Epstein files. CNN has not confirmed if the meeting has taken place, but again, ABC has confirmed that it did. A spokesperson for the Justice Department declined to comment. The White House did not immediately return for request to comment. CNN has reached out to Boebert's office. Still, the intention of a meeting underscores the Trump administration's concerns about the Epstein saga, which roared back Wednesday morning when the House Oversight Committee released more documents it obtained from the Epstein's estate. And we'll get to that because after the House Democrats released these very sinister emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and Michael Wolff, the author, implicating Trump in knowledge. Then House Republicans, then they wanted to release a lot more of the Epstein file. Okay, here's 20,000 more Epstein files documents. Like,
yeah, 20,000.
Okay, what are you trying to bury there?
Yeah, exactly.
The Justice Department files, which capture years of investigation.
For those who missed, the Republicans released like 20,000 additional Epstein-related files, or emails, maybe even. I don't know if it was just emails or whatever. 20,000. I think it's 20,000 files. So I mean, there might be some interesting stuff in there. Yeah, also you can join the room for radicals. We still have room for a few more radicals, but regardless, it certainly seems like the Republicans are trying to bury the lead here by releasing those files today, right after these three really just damning trifecta of emails that paint Trump in a very particular light.
Investigation into a child sex trafficking ring could include details the House hasn't obtained. So again, really interesting. Trump hasn't been accused of any crime, and longtime Epstein contact and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell previously told Blanche in an interview this summer she'd seen no wrongdoing. On Capitol Hill, 3 Republican House members, Boebert, Green, Nancy Mace, have signed onto an effort from Massey and Ro Khanna to force a vote on the Epstein files. Bondi was seen leaving the White House at 1:10 Eastern on Wednesday. Should anyone, like Boebert, remove their name from the petition, Massey and Khanna would no longer have the support needed to move their name forward. Under the arcane procedure of a House discharge petition, if 218 members of the House, a majority of all 435 districts, sign on, they can force a floor vote in the chamber on anything, even if leadership opposes it. Such an effort.
Right, so they needed her to force the vote to release the files, and now that she's sworn in, they can in theory do that, assuming Boebert, Green, etc. play ball.
Rarely succeeds. So, we'll see what happens with Boebert, but they're really putting the screws to her. I mentioned again that Republicans in the House panicked and dropped 20,000 additional pages of Epstein documents after the email leak. So, this is funny. Democrats whine about releasing the files, but they only cherry pick when they have them to generate clickbait. You deserve the full truth. And so House Republicans finally released at least 20,000 documents, which is hilarious. But it's like, well, why haven't you been doing that already? Like, what is it about these emails that have you so panicked that you are releasing these documents while at the same time pretending that there's nothing of substance to the emails? Sounds like you can't have it both ways. And of course, as the media pours through these 20,000 pages, we're getting all sorts of information. Quote, I know how dirty Donald is. A stunningly candid Epstein email about Trump gets released by Republicans. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee released a trove of Epstein-related files on Wednesday following the Democrats' release of emails showing Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell discussing Trump. The emails released by the Democrats show Epstein calling Trump, quote, the dog that hasn't barked, and discussing how an alleged victim, quote, spent hours at my house with him. The emails released by the Republicans are also not flattering for Trump, with an exchange including Epstein writing, quote, you see, I know how dirty Donald is. The email, dated to August 23rd, 2018, appears to show Epstein and former Obama White House counsel Kathy Rumler discussing Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, flipping on it. The subject line on the email chain reads, quote, New York Times, Donald Trump's high crimes and misdemeanors, and begins with Rumler sharing an article with Epstein. Quote, here's a story from the New York Times that I thought you'd find interesting. The principled case for impeachment is clear. What's missing is the courage, reads Rumler's email. Donald Trump's high crimes and misdemeanors is the title of a August 22nd, 2018 op-ed in the Times by Bret Stephens that included the subhead, quote, the principled case for impeachment is clear. What's missing is the courage. Epstein replied, I think he makes the argument that it was Trump's money, making it not illegal. Though he also said he only found out afterwards, and the fact, according to the indictment, was billed as services rendered and grossed up. I'm sure his account has flipped anyway. I did talk in detail to Ken Starr, yesterday regarding indictments, how Trump can make a deal, special counsel. Clinton's...
Okay, I've literally just been letting Josiah talk so that I could do other stuff in the background. But let me catch up with chat. I mean, I think you guys are just like shooting the shit, which is fine. You guys seem to be having fun. I used to kill mud crabs in RuneScape. You grind on the oh no, they're rock crabs, rock lobsters. I think they're rock crabs. I think they might have been mud crabs. Chat being cringe. Hey, let him be cringe. Listen, you're one of them. All right. Takes one to know one, as they say. But I wanted to try something real quick. So I want to pull up W3 Schools to do this. Hop over here to the try it yourself, right? And paste in here we go. We now have our Trump Epstein Timeline Explorer. You guys ready for this? Trump Epstein Timeline Explorer. Let's let I've stolen enough of Josiah's video, so let's give him the last minute and a half.
It's trash, yes. Starr gave me more. Yuck. And again, the typing on this is brutal. Rumler then responded, quote, it makes no difference whether it was his money, issue his failure to disclose, plus the fact that he's lied his ass off about it makes it clear he knew it was illegal. Epstein replied, quote, you see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, New York business people have no idea. That means you have to have your fixer flip. The two appeared to be discussing the case around Cohen's hush money payments ahead of the 2016 election to porn star Stormy Daniels and others made on Trump's behalf. Trump was later found guilty in May of 2024 on 34 felony counts of falsifying business documents. So, again, they provide an excerpt of the email thread right here. So, again...
So is there other emails that were released? Is this stuff the Republicans released? There's no way, right? I think I missed something he said there. Also, my chat was broken for a second. Hey, Lefty Warrior. Let's see. Nicody says, it's so fitting that the daughter of a Mexican immigrant may be the one to bust this thing open. Rude Crab says, I better do some work. Fuzzy Bee says, I know lobster means something that isn't crustacean, but I don't know what. Maybe. Lefty says, have y'all ever seen or heard of Tommy for Trump that goes to Portland Ice and trolls the left? Maybe. Depends on what you mean by chaos.
And in their desperate bid to try to bury the potentially incriminating emails against Trump, potentially, certainly it implicates that Trump had direct knowledge of Epstein's nefarious crimes. They're panicking and releasing all sorts of documents, which also don't really make Trump look particularly good. And then, of course, raises the question, why weren't you releasing these documents along the way? Sure sounds like you're panicking. And, of course, then that emergency meeting at the White House makes it even worse. And before we end for the day, I'm just refreshing the page to see if there's any update on Boebert. See? It doesn't seem like there is anything.
Well, we've now seen the update. But anyway, okay. Thank you, Josiah. Rock Lobster, says Nicody. That's a great point. Rock Lobster. So we have here I guess this is our official vibe coding the news segment for the Epstein email scandal. So this is a high-level chronology of Jeffrey Epstein's legal troubles and Donald Trump's relationship, with emphasis on documented events versus disputed claims. So in the late 1980s, Trump and Epstein move into the same Palm Beach/Manhattan circles. Both men become fixtures in the same wealthy social scene, attending parties and visiting another's properties. Then in 1992, there's the Mar-a-Lago party video. This is TV footage that shows Trump and Epstein at a small Mar-a-Lago party, chatting and watching women dance. I think this is when they're like pointing. 1997 to 2000, we have social photos and closest friend era. So this is where photos show Trump, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell together at events. Later tapes have Epstein call himself Trump's closest friend for a decade. Trump's closest friend for a decade. In the year 2000, we have Virginia Giuffre, recruited while working at Mar-a-Lago. So this is Giuffre later says Maxwell recruited her for Epstein's massage pipeline while she worked at Mar-a-Lago. She does not accuse Trump personally. This is allegedly the woman who Epstein says spent hours with Trump at his house. In 2002, we have Trump's infamous "terrific guy" quote, where he calls Epstein a terrific guy who likes beautiful women on the younger side, a line that will later haunt him. Yeah, it sure does. In 2004, we have the Palm Beach mansion bidding war and cooling relations. So Trump and Epstein vie for the same Palm Beach mansion. Trump wins. Later accounts describe this business dispute as one factor in their falling out. So this is before Epstein was... I think they're... Well, let's see. Okay. There's a 2005-2006 is when Palm Beach police opened their criminal investigation into Epstein. So they investigate a complaint that Epstein molested a 14-year-old, uncovering a pattern of paid messages with dozens of girls. So that's 2005-2006. And then 2007, there's the non-prosecution agreement and lenient sentence. This is Alex Acosta. Alex Acosta negotiates a non-prosecution agreement. So this is when federal prosecutors struck a secret non-prosecution deal. Epstein pleads to lesser state charges, avoids federal sex trafficking counts, and serves a controversial work release sentence. And in the mid-2000s, at some point, is the reported ban from Mar-a-Lago. So Trump's camp later claims that he barred Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for being a creep around a member's daughter. Details are murky and partly disputed. So this is the mid-2000s. We don't know exactly when. It is before 2007? After? I've read that it's like around 2007, 2008. But I guess that's disputed. In 2011, we have Epstein's email to Maxwell, which is the one about the dog that hasn't barked, being Trump. This is a newly surfaced email, and where they say a named victim, which is Virginia, allegedly spent hours at his house with Trump. In 2015, we have the Epstein and Michael Wolff email where they're strategizing Trump's 2016 rise. This is where emails show Epstein and author Michael Wolff discussing how Trump's denials about their relationship could be leveraged as PR or political currency. I don't believe that question was ever actually asked in the debate. In 2016, Trump weaponizes Epstein mostly against Bill Clinton. So on the campaign trail, Trump hints that Bill Clinton will have problems over Epstein while saying little negative about Epstein himself. Very interesting. I wasn't actually aware of that. In 2017, there are the Epstein tapes that come out where he calls Trump his closest friend for 10 years. We talked about that a bit earlier. In July 2019, there is a federal sex trafficking indictment in New York. So prosecutors in the Southern District of New York charge Epstein with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy, alleging abuse of dozens of girls. In July 2019, again, Trump claims a distant relationship and no idea about abuse. Asked about Epstein as president, Trump says they had a falling out. 15 years ago, he insists he was not a fan. A terrific guy, as he said earlier, right? And says he had no idea about Epstein's crimes. So this is this would be disputed by the January 2019 email. So Epstein email. Of course, he knew about the girls. This email was actually in January 2019. So this would actually be before Trump says he had no idea about abuse. So in the 2019 email to Wolff, Epstein writes, of course Trump knew about the girls because he asked Ghislaine Maxwell to stop. In 2020, Ghislaine Maxwell is arrested and convicted. She's arrested on charges that she helped Epstein recruit and abuse minor girls. She's later convicted and sentenced to 20 years. Trump wishes her well, right? In 2024, Epstein interview tapes were released publicly. Wolff's recorded conversations with Epstein are aired, featuring Epstein talking extensively about Trump, Clinton, and his social circle. And in 2025, Congress receives Epstein estate emails and releases the excerpts that we've talked about earlier on the stream. House investigators obtain tens of thousands of Epstein estate documents. Newly released emails include the dog that hasn't barked line and the claim that Trump knew about the girls. So there we go. That's a good timeline. Hey, Panelverse. Can that timeline be posted in Discord after the stream? Absolutely it can. In fact, what I'll do... what's the best way to do this? Give me a second. I was trying to do it from Gemini. Let me try it again there. Welcoming everyone here like it's the Has Been Hotel. I haven't watched Has Been Hotel, but I appreciate that Fuzzy does that. Wait, I don't need you to update it. Put it on the canvas. Trying to sneak around when I'm tummy thick in the class when my ass cheeks won't stop alerting the guard. Jesus. You guys are ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. I got you. Most of the apps that I make on stream, I have Gemini links to. Susan says, can I please get a link to your Discord? You absolutely can. Exclamation point. Discord. Exclamation mark? Whatever. Exclamation point? I think is right. I don't know why it feels wrong. And here we go. Join the room for radicals. We have room for a few more radicals, including yourself, Susan. Thank you again for joining membership as well. We have 3 minutes left in the goal. I am going to end probably after that, especially if we don't meet it. But I am thinking about going back live again in a couple hours, maybe opening up a panel about this topic. I think that might be fun going into the evening. But I want to take like a nap. I need a nap. I need a little nap. Mel says, can I not get a link to your Discord? Also, yes. Okay, here we go. This time it worked. So let me click share. And I'll go ahead and throw it here, but I'll also throw it in the Discord. I'll throw it in project updates, I guess. Or maybe I need a new maybe debate lab. Timeline of the relationship between Trump and Epstein. There we go. Susan, you don't see the link to Discord? Again, it's, I mean, I think Fuzzy just posted it again, but I'll also post it. You might be on top chat, not live chat. Make sure you guys switch over from top chat to live chat. Sometimes things get like hidden. But hopefully one of those versions shows up. Thank you, Fuzzy. Do you keep going if I don't know? Honestly, probably not for now. I need a little break. I need to take a little break. I need to like stand up and walk around. But so save your money, Michelle. If anyone else wants to donate, I'll take it. But Michelle, save it. Panelverse says, W, all of you mini legends here. Be blessed, champions. True. Dono your pick. I don't know what that means. Yes, but be blessed indeed. Again, I posted. So if you join the Discord. Okay, I see. Susan got in. Awesome. I posted I threw it in the debate lab. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll go live probably, I don't know, 9:30. Maybe earlier, maybe 9. And we'll do an open panel on the Epstein emails and what it means. Hopefully we get some Republicans or conservatives or MAGA types in to, defend this. I'm be very curious what they have to say. I suppose we'll see. But in the meantime, let me see if I can send you guys anywhere exciting. Let's see who is live right now. Yeah, flicking the bean. Gotta go flick the bean. Let's go to... I think Soy Pill is debating about celebrating death, right? Soy Pill's video on Charlie Kirk was fantastic, by the way. So I recommend people go watch that after you watch him debate on Wick. Also, good to see you, Daphne Shepard. Send us to J3. I don't know who that is. Maybe next time. I've already selected Soy Pill. Yeah, good to see you, Daphne. Are these hilarious Clinton emails? No, Daphne. These are not Clinton emails. These are Trump emails, or emails about Trump specifically. I recommend you go back just a little bit in the stream and try to find where we were. We've been reading them throughout. There's 3 main emails. There's a... Here, if you don't want to go through all my stuff, which I'm deeply offended that you don't, but here is a AP article that has all 3 emails, so you can read about that. But in the meantime, I love you guys. I will go live later, but go tell Soy Pill that learning is radical, and tell him I know what he did. Okay, bye.